Welcome to the Growth Shift. I'm David Zylstra. Here's what I've learned after years in business. Every leader who's built something meaningful has a story, but the moment they had to shift, when failure forced innovation, when change became opportunity, when they chose growth over comfort. On this show, we dive into those pivotal moments, the setbacks that became breakthroughs, the strategic shifts that accelerated growth, and the frameworks that turned obstacles into opportunities. Because here's the truth. In a world where change is the only constant, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who've learned to shift strategically through it. So whether you're facing your own pivot point or just want to learn from someone who's been there, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Today, our guest is Jay Reagan. Jay is a father, business owner, and licensed insurance advisor with a deep understanding of technology and a passion for helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate the American healthcare industry. With a rich technical background spanning over 20 years in the audio recording and audiovisual industry, including a recording engineering degree from Full Sail University, Jay transitioned his passion for technology, business development, and problem solving to the insurance industry. As a licensed insurance advisor and business owner, Jay offers a deeply personal understanding of the American healthcare system. Having undergone robotic heart surgery in January 2023 under a private insurance plan, he now leverages his experience to expertly guide others. Jay's unique perspective, born from being both a patient and an industry professional, fuels his passion in the integration of technology and the future of healthcare. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here, Jay. Can you share a little bit about your incredible journey from the audiovisual industry to founding Pro Health Insurance Solutions?
Sure, absolutely. So I was in the audio video world for 25 years about. I have a recording engineering degree from Full Sail University out of Orlando, and I worked for Avid, for Line 6, Walrus Audio, a myriad of other companies, business development, marketing, managing teams. I was working for a high-end AV company in Chicago, and my insurance was really expensive. It was really good. And it was employer insurance. It was very expensive. So I was looking at my options, and my friend was actually providing healthcare for individuals in the private market, we call it. And I gave it a shot, and it saved me several $100s a month, and it got me good health care. Incidentally, this was in 2018. In 2023, I had my aortic valve replaced from my heart, and I used that same insurance. So during this process, we started this company to help people navigate the healthcare industry and get the best quality possible insurance they can with that fits their needs and budget. So I've been on both sides of this as a patient, and now I provide healthcare solutions. I paid zero out of pocket. I actually put about $3,000 or $4,000 in my pocket during the process. So we know how to navigate the process, and I use technology for my back end, my sales funnel. So constantly looking at the new technology and always looking at what's out there. And I think that's how you found me.
Yeah. Now you are a business owner, and healthcare insurance, health insurance is your focus. You also have a personal experience, it sounds like, with heart surgery, right? How has this experience shaped your approach to providing insurance solutions?
Well, anytime that you're using, I'm not 22 years old, I'm 49. And I've had 2 shoulder surgeries and a heart surgery and a couple other things. So once you hit about 40, you start to fall apart a little bit. Once you're on that side of it, you can, there's really no situation we haven't seen or heard either personally or in the business world. So it really adds a personal touch to what we do, because you can empathize with the people, what they're going through. So we really put that first, trying to figure out what's best for the needs and budget of the individual and the family. So because there's it's not a sales situation, it's a solutions based situation, I believe. So we're not selling anything. We're just providing solutions. Our system is broken. We can have a full discussion about that, but until they fix it, we're going to continue to help individuals and families find the best healthcare coverage possible.
Absolutely. I love that approach. Providing solutions, not making sales, right? But I think it's a fine line that people need to walk to make sure that that's truly the approach that you're taking, right? And always provide providing your clients with the absolute best option for themselves. Now, how is it that you balance being an expert in health insurance while also positioning yourself as someone who provides solutions rather than just selling policies? Because not everyone takes that approach or positions themselves in that way. So Jay, how is it that you position yourself to your audience in this way by providing solutions, not selling insurance? Because traditionally people view the relationship as, as selling to somebody, giving
Yeah.
them, yes, something that they might need, but not necessarily focused on this is a solution. This isn't a service or a product that you're
Right,
selling.
right. So I actually lead with my story, and that seems to really resonate with people. So when I say that, I mean, we do a lot of meta ads, which is Facebook and Instagram. So we have dozens of videos up that I've done, but the one that really resonates with people is the one where I'm talking about my personal story. And anytime that you can share personal information about, your experience and what's happened to you personally and how I've used insurance and how I've navigated the industry, then I think it really resonates with people. Instead of just like, hey, buy this thing, it's great. We take a much different approach. I'm not sure I call it luck that I had heart surgery, but it definitely adds to my story and the my expertise. Being a patient, it was a real deal. I mean, it was they put you on a life support system with your lungs and your heart to stop everything, and so it was scary. And so I've had clients and patients that have had serious surgeries. I've had people that have died. So navigating that whole process is quite personal and is passionate for me and my team. I only work with people that are passionate about helping people.
That's an excellent way to approach it. And you have invaluable firsthand experience, right? As you said, it's not lucky, but all the same, it really has shaped the perspective that you have, and I think how you can relate with your clients. Now, that's an incredible story that you have to show people that you understand them and you understand what solutions are necessary to truly be able to help them, right? But you also really lean into the digital marketing side of things, understandable with the background that you have in tech and digital products, let's say, or technical products. So what is it that you focus on with your meta ads campaigns to really see that this is performing and this is what we need to dive into? What are those KPIs or the metrics that you use to measure success?
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, measuring success for us is providing solutions and having people acquire health insurance. We are doing this for a living. So, but it is nice to help people during the process. So, I mean, that is the ultimate metric, is how many people we're helping. But we have a series of other metrics starting at the top of the sales funnel with and then you click through and we ask you questions. We assign you to a certain agent depending on the questions that you answer, how you answer them. So we really try and get you in touch with the person that you need to talk to. So, I mean, if you sign into the system and you have cancer, or you need an upcoming surgery, or you take ADHD medications, those are all factors that we take into consideration, get you to talk to the right person. So, I mean, success is always, I'm running a business. So, is providing solutions for these individuals and continuing to do so. And we have a series of metrics: cost per lead, cost per acquisition. I have a media buyer. I have an organic social media person. So we're constantly working. I was working with somebody this morning, with my media buyer this morning, talking about different trends on how to increase, decrease spending, et cetera. So yeah.
Okay, and this is a very interesting point, because I understand that you take a very personal approach to wanting to provide your clients with the solutions, but with an understanding that you understand them, right? So this is very personal. Health insurance is a very, very personal industry. It's a very personal product or insurance or solution that your clients are purchasing. But it also sounds like you really lean into and rely on the digital side of things, right? I understand that you're using a number of automations. You're starting to test AI in different ways. You use a lot of digital ads. So how do you strike the balance between technology and a personal touch that the health insurance industry really required?
That's a great question, because you can have one of each. You can have a really good system, or you can have a really good story, or a really good marketing, or you can have a really good team. But you have to kind of put it all together, right? So the system it works for at the top of the sales funnel. But you have to have good content at the top of the sales funnel. You can't just say, hey, call me, I do insurance. I mean, you have to tell a story, whatever that story might be, to attract individuals, to get them to trust you, to try and relate to those individuals. I'm always honest in my approach. Anything that I say online is truthful. Utilizing the technology with the personalized approaches is really the what we look to do.
How is it that you maintain that balance of personal touch through all of the systems that you're using, the CRM, the marketing funnel, and all of these things? And it sounds like you're really just leading with your story, reading with, that human touch and why this is important. Once you can draw people in with that personal touch, that relatability, you know,
Yeah.
the systems in between don't matter. It's just maybe a way of connecting that person with someone, with you or one of your advisors, so that you can help find the right solution.
Yeah, and with the once you get into the system, we definitely have a personalized approach while you're in there because I use personalized photos of myself and I talk about my son and because people with it, buying a car, you're buying something that you want to work if something catastrophic happens for your family. So you need to be able to trust that individual, you need to be able to relate to that person. I'm not saying anything false. I'm just putting myself out there in a personal way. So we have personal touches when they book, having our information. We use our cell phone information, having as much personalized touch as possible with our names, and even call individuals and say, "Hey, thanks for filling out a form. You have an appointment at XYZ. Just wanted to say hello," that sort of thing. People really appreciate that because, again, we're not selling widgets or cars. This is health insurance.
Couldn't agree more. Now, Jay, you and I spoke the other day, and you mentioned, after finding great success or, real good traction with paid advertising, you're starting to pivot more towards a relationship focused approach. What does that mean, and what prompted this shift?
A relationship approach as far as the advertisements, or in what regard?
I believe that when we were talking was a little bit utilizing the ads, sure, but also starting to expand and explore other avenues of lead generation, maybe through referrals, maybe through other ways of leveraging relationships and trust.
Yeah, so, working with partners that have the same methodology and the same approach to the business and, creating other videos as well, talking about other stories organically. So we talk about anything from, Mark Cuban's new pharmaceutical site to, how much Taylor Swift made on her tour and what does she do for health insurance. Those are all random topics, but they kind of make you think sometimes. So personalizing as much as possible is always a strategy, but working with like-minded individuals, whether it be agents that we work directly with, I have a team of people, or other referral partners that have the same idea about working with on a personal level to find a solution for
Mm.
the families.
Yeah, and I think that's an incredible way to take things. I know that there's a lot of health insurance agents and agencies that really focus on growing quality partnerships with healthcare systems and healthcare providers, or whether it is, other relatable industry professionals, banking systems, lawyers, people who have clients who they know need health insurance can
Yeah.
really benefit from it. But it's being able to find a partner who they can trust, with their clients as well. So, can you share some thoughts or maybe some advice with the audience as to how they can approach perhaps building or generating some relationships that demonstrate they're a true professional and that they are worthy of taking care of, their potential referral partners' clients?
You definitely have to treat people how you want to be treated, and you have to do business in a ethical way. That's just my philosophy, and I only work with people that do so. Referral groups are really good. I recently joined a BNI group, Business Networking International. This is a nationwide networking group in America, but I think it's international as well. But so, we have doctors and lawyers and chiropractors and financial advisors, and those are all individuals that can help introduce me to other power referral partners, as we call them, where we can work together and I can feed them referrals to a trusted source and they can recommend people to me that I can provide them solutions as well. Just being a good person, honestly, being ethical, being honest, and I think things eventually just fall into place, always growing.
So maybe taking a traditional approach of just earning someone's trust, right? Building a relationship with them, leading with integrity and honesty and showing them, hey, like I'm somebody who you would want to do business with and that, you can trust me with your clients because of the way that I do things. Sounds like it might take a little while to build these relationships, of course, as it always does, but very, very valuable relationships to invest time towards. Now, Jay, it sounds like you are planning some big things for your agency, Pro Health Solutions. I mean, you've really done well with paid ads. You found great success there. You've built some systems that really work. Now you're looking at expanding by way of maybe forming partnerships and other. What are your plans for your agency over the next 12 months?
So we are forming some partnerships. I've got some new agents coming on board. We're going to expand the products that we offer. But yeah, always looking at technology as well, because AI is obviously something that's, I know we're going to talk about that, but it's so prevalent right now and needs to be addressed. And I'm constantly thinking about and trying out different AI platforms and different ways to use AI, whether it be just on a daily basis or in my system. So it's always a very personalized approach. Number one, being honest and trustworthy as possible, and then leading with the technology, because it's not going anywhere. It's only going to be exponential, as you know. So technology is a big part of what I do. I have a lot of business development background, so with marketing and stuff. So combining all this together, constantly looking at what's next.
Excellent. So you're scaling out the team, but you're also scaling out the systems. You're looking at using some new technologies. And I know you've spent a lot of time researching AIs and testing them, as you just mentioned. What criteria do you use to evaluate whether an AI tool will actually provide your business with value?
So for me, I've tried several AI tools, and one big thing is when you're interacting directly with a person, a human, the tolerance for the average human at this point isn't quite where it's going to be in the future. And what I mean is, if you're selling, let's say, cars, I keep using that example, but it's kind of an innate product. It doesn't have any feelings, but if you know what you want a Bronco, you want a 96, you want a black, et cetera, et cetera. And using an AI to talking to an AI about that is much different than talking to an AI about healthcare. So the technology is not there, in my opinion, to where the AI can lay out the solutions. The person knows or doesn't care that they're talking to AI and is okay with that. I think having the AI agent talk to a human and the human think that they're a human, another human that they're talking to, is not there yet with this industry. And that's what I'm specifically talking about. Maybe if you're buying a car and you don't really need that really personal touch, it doesn't really matter as much, because at this point, you're talking to AI. Now it's going to change in the future that you are not going to be able to tell the difference, and that's coming. But until then, this is a very personal scenario and process, and it currently needs that human touch at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I mean, health insurance is very personal and needs to be individualized to be done correctly. So people really want that human connection to know they have trust and that they're getting something that is actually tailored and specific to them, right? Aside from the personal gap, let's say, with AI, what sort of limitations have you encountered when trying to implement AI specifically within, the health insurance and healthcare space? Is it, regulation? Is it otherwise? What are those limitations?
Like we just talked about, the personalized touch, the human knowing that they're talking to an AI representative, or I've tried many AI callers, and they work. Just the cost is a little too high for what it provides at this point. Now, we haven't had to use AI in our messaging. We can. But we don't need to, because we have enough agents that are available to message with anybody that is incoming. So if they're messaging us on Facebook or sending us an email or a message, we're able to pick up the phone and call them immediately, or message them as a human. We don't have to have an AI. So it's definitely this balance between using humans and AI and how it interacts, and having the AI used at the right time and moment, and having the human step in, and not pushing one or more or the other. It's just about the process and the overall experience for the user.
So you obviously have a great interest in AI and technology. You have some experience in the space. These are things you're implementing. There's trial and error there, but you're finding some good solutions for yourself as well, right? If we were to maybe consider other industry professionals who might be in a similar position in terms of an agency owner, but maybe not so technical or technically as inclined as you, what sort of common challenges do you think they might have that they should focus on overcoming with AI? Or maybe a different way to say that is, for other industry professionals who are maybe a little more technologically challenged, right? What's some advice that you could give to them to approach AI in a little bit more of a practical way?
Well, first of all, always focus on your personality and being honest and providing the solutions that are appropriate for the situation. A lot of people try and put a policy with someone that is just not a good fit. They sell it to them and then they disappear. That's just not our approach. That's number one. And that's just a given, I believe. And then as far as learning about the technology, if you don't know anything about technology, that's okay. There's so many resources out there that can train you and teach you in classes and talk to people that are already using the technology and go into learning mode and watch videos. I mean, you can watch a video on anything nowadays. I mean, obviously, 20 years ago, YouTube just came out, if you can believe it, in 2005. But I mean, you can find a training for anything. So if you want to figure out how to build a CRM and implement AI, try it, do a bunch of research. This is what I did at the beginning and figure out what works for you and your business and move forward and then constantly make adjustments. We've been making adjustments for 3 years and will continue to do so.
So maybe just spending time learning about it, approaching it slowly, making sure that there's purpose there and it's actually going to add value to their clients and to their agency as well. When you were going through this journey initially of researching AI, spending time figuring out which ones are right to use, going through a lot of trial and error as well, were there any specific resources, whether it be, newsletters, blogs, communities online that you found especially valuable for staying informed about these technological developments that people might be able to look to for a little bit of guidance?
Specific boards, I mean, for me, it's more of just using Google and doing, if you have a question about something, do a search and then get into a rabbit hole of CRM technology and looking at all the options. And then once you get into the CRM technology, you can look at what options they have, for example, for AI internally, because this is constantly changing. So, if you're not learning, you're going to be behind and you have to constantly be in a learning phase because this is going to happen exponentially. It is happening exponentially as this AI revolution continues to grow. It's not going anywhere, guaranteed, and it's only going to exponentially grow. 5-10 years from now, it's going to be a much different landscape and you need to prepare because it's just going to be a different world. Now, for better or for worse, we can have that discussion as well, but it just is. The technology is revolutionary. I believe it's the next evolution of humanity. It sounds crazy, but, we're coming to AGI soon, general intelligence, which means that, it's as smart, if not smarter than a human. We're very close to it next couple of years. So you better get on board, because you're going to get left behind if you don't.
I can agree more. I'd love to know, what are your thoughts on how the industry is going to change, right? Because you shared some opinions and thoughts about, how it's not so effective right now in certain ways when it comes to relationships and communicating with people. But a few years down the road, if you feel like the landscape is going to be completely changed with what's happening right now, how do you think the industry is going to be impacted in the greatest way? Or just what are your thoughts on what will change?
Yeah, and I don't think, and we've talked about this before, humans aren't ready for what's coming. And I really believe that. The way that the AI is going to change that we interact with the world, whether it be in the way we do business, the jobs that are going to disappear. We don't need programmers anymore, lawyers. I mean, this is going to have sweeping effects. And staying on the top, the crest of that wave and riding it in instead of being underneath it or behind it is going to be really important.
Where do you think the industry is going? How is AI going to impact things? If it's really the next revolution or the next evolution of humanity, how does that relate to health insurance and to, maybe for what other people can think of when it comes to how is my business going to change in the next few years?
Yeah, so it's going to be more and more used on a daily basis for humans, whether it be built into your glasses or eventually built into your head, which is already happening, microchips. You're going to have AI everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Your washer, your dryer, anything electrical is going to have AI in it. It just is. So being able to stay ahead of that, understand it, embrace it, because for the non-technical people, that's okay, because not everybody's a technical person. Just learn how you can use it on a day-to-day basis. Pull up ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity and just start using it. And it's a whole new way of interacting with the world and interacting with technology. You have to kind of create new scenarios to think about how to use this product it's not even a product, this technology, and how you can fit it, because you can't think of the questions yet of or uses of how you can really utilize this technology. And I think that's the biggest part of it, is just use it on a day-to-day basis. Like if you want to make a shopping list, or if you want to, write out an email to someone, use ChatGPT to figure out how to best do that, and use different prompts, and just get used to using the technology, because it's only going to grow much quicker than it is now.
Kind of like when landline internet came out, people had their at-home desktop computers, and you had to start experimenting with, what's this email thing? How do we send these? Because a few years later, I mean, here we are with smartphones in our pockets, and if you didn't learn how to use it then, you were far behind other people. I remember, when I was a teenager, needing to help my parents just learn how to set up their phones, and I thought it was the most simple thing, but just goes to show, if you're going to wait and you're not going to start learning, right, especially as a business owner or industry professional, you can be set far behind your competition, right? Which no one wants to be in that position.
It's just a fact. I mean, it's just where the technology is. It's the way that things are working. I was doing the same thing with my mom this last weekend. I mean, the iPhone 16 Pro is way above her technology need. I mean, it's incredible what these phones can do now. So I remember when I was a kid, our internet was the literal encyclopedia on the wall, literally. So, I mean, that was what we used for, let's look up what's, Mars or Saturn or something, a moon or a star. You'd go to the encyclopedia, and there was no internet. So thinking about 30, 40 years ago is just absolutely wild. And this AI is really going to change the landscape, and you better be on board. You just do the best you can and use it on a daily basis.
I know, Jay, one question that I like to ask, it's a little bit of fun towards the end here, is if you could solve one major challenge for pro health insurance solutions, what would that be?
Well, I mean, we're always trying to get in front of, we know we have good products. We know we have a good customer service process. We're honest, and we are always going to do what's best for the individual and the family. Just getting in front of more people. That's always the challenge, is telling your story to the next person. At this point in time, the way the system is set up, you have to have health insurance in the United States. And it's just the way that it is. Getting in front of the people, that as many people as we can, and telling our story, and helping them the best they can. And then they will tell their friends, etc., and using that good word of mouth. I'd much rather turn somebody away and say, where you're at is the best option as far as your health care. I think that'll go much further than, hey, buy this from me. And, I just don't believe in that approach. I think you'll catch more referrals in the future if you're just always honest with the people that you're talking to.
Catch more flies with honey than you do with shit, right?
Or vinegar.
Jay, for any listeners who might like to connect with you to learn more about your approach to health insurance, or just to learn more about pro health insurance solutions, what would be the best way to reach out?
You can reach me personally, reaganhealthgroup.com. It's REAGAN. I'm sure you'll maybe have a link in the bottom. We also have a Pro Health Insurance Solutions website. But yeah, starting there, if you wanted to, connect or have a question about health insurance or technology, I'm always up for a chat.
Fantastic. And yes, we'll add those links into the description of the podcast. Jay, thank you so much for joining the show today. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. To the listeners, thank you for tuning into the podcast. As always, I hope this episode has brought you valuable insight, knowledge, and inspiration. If it did, please, would you show your support by dropping us a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, we're signing off. And that's a wrap on another episode of The Growth Shift. If this conversation sparked something for you, whether it's a new perspective on failure, a strategy you want to try, or just the reminder that every setback can become a setup for something bigger, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid change. They're the ones who shift strategically through it. If you're ready to build the systems that help you grow without the chaos, head over to valentix.io. We help businesses like yours scale smarter, not harder.